everybody's eligible. However, any persons that come to the UK before the 1st of January 1973 from a British Commonwealth nation, which is all of the Caribbean islands other than Montserrat, and some African nations and other non-black nations as well. If you come or your family member come before then, and they're your grandparent, or parent, and even in some cases great-grandparent or other close family members like aunts or uncles, you are eligible. You're eligible, but each category, so the immigration and deportation is capped from 10k upwards. Then the impact of life is capped from 10k upwards. So even if you meet just one of those criterias, such as impact of life, you're going to get £10,000 or more. Now, if you meet impact of life and deportation, you're likely to get an offer of £20,000 or more. Now, sometimes people are getting small offers because of how you're writing the application form, and you may write a whole heap of things but evidence 2 or 3 of them. You're only getting paid for what you can evidence. So our sessions are on informing you about what to write and how to write it and how to find your evidence. So there's DSAR applications, which is data subject access request. That's a legal request. If you send that to any organisation, they have to provide the information within 28 days. Otherwise, you can sue them. Another act that you can use to request information is the Freedom of Information Act request. If you send any request for your information, your files on yourself, to any official organisation such as the NHS, the police, mental health institutions, social services, or any other type of services where you've been detained or had to use them for support, even any records, medical records or whatever, that you need to evidence how this has impacted your life, aka how you have suffered, then that's what you need to do. You can use those acts to support you. Now, Ezekiel Mullings, you asked what if your grandparents come in that time but they have passed away. So there's 3 different types of applications. The 3 different types of applications, there's one called representative of an estate. That is for your close family members who entered the UK before the 1st of January but have since passed. Okay, so you can apply even for your close family members that are no longer alive, right? The government website says this, so that again is evident that you can claim even if you've never faced deportation immigration issues yourself. Okay. Now, in order to be eligible for the representative of an estate application, you must prove how that family member would have qualified for the primary application if they were still alive now. So next, the second application is primary application. That is for our family members who come to the UK from a British Commonwealth nation before the 1st of January 1973. That's for them who come before the 1st of January 1973. They are the primary applicants and should only fill out the primary application form. If you fill out the form on the wrong form, they're going to say you're not eligible. Now, moving on quickly because my battery is dying and time is dying. In regards to the next application, what they would need is in regards to the next application, this is for the close family members. If you are the child or the family member, close family member, the son or daughter to those who come in that time. I know people want minutes. I can see people requesting my contact details. I don't share my contact details because I am an entrepreneur. You know, I do social work on a full-time basis. I manage 14 units, 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. I do acting on the side and I do community activism. I can't support everyone by telephone. It's not realistic. We're sharing this information. The information that we're sharing is free on the government website. And what we need you to do is we need you to be independent with this because it's you that's going to benefit from the financial award. We need you to now go onto the government website at www.gov.forward/Windrush Compensation Scheme. That's the link where you're going to find the different application forms, and that's where you print the correct form for yourself and for your family members in order to apply. Now, sorry that I wasn't able to give the full presentation on this meeting, but we are going to be doing this again
next week, right?
Next week on Thursday, where we'll give you the full presentation, There's lots of information that you can find on the presentation where you'll be able to read everything what I'm saying to you. But for now, please go on the government website and download the forms and have a read of them so you can gain an understanding of what you need to do. What you then need to do, especially if you're born in Britain, is you need to go to your family members who come before that time, or your aunts and uncles, or maybe the elders in your family if your grandparents or whoever are not alive. You need to contact them and you need to ask them about the information pertaining to your family's arrival in the UK. What happened before they arrived? Was they invited? Did they pay to come here? Did they join armed forces? When they arrived here, what type of hostile environment did they come in? Even the British government admit that it was the UK was a very hostile environment for any Black person coming to the UK in that time. Now, remember, there's films like This Is England. That shows you what was happening in society at that time. So it's not just about how was we oppressed by the system, how was we denied our rights as British subjects, but what else was happening in the public in the public of Britain. There was a lot of racism on the streets. People would be attacked by white racists and the police would drive by or even join in on the side of the white racists. All of that was happening at the time. A lot of us don't know what our parents and grandparents have been through, but please sit down, speak with them, find out the information of when they arrived and stuff like that, because you're going to need it in order to apply. Because remember, you have to prove how you are related to the person who entered the UK before the 1st of January 1973. Once you have those conversations, you are going to realise that a number of our family members actually still have the original travel documents of how they come to the UK. That's all evidence of how you arrived. Someone asked a question, how do you prove mental health? Well, if you've ever registered your mental health issues or you've ever been diagnosed, that the doctors or hospital that diagnose you will have a record of that. They have to. If you've ever used sick notes for DWP benefit claims, that's evidence. If you've ever had ESA or sickness benefits from DWP, ask them to write you a letter. That's evidence as well. If you've ever been detained under the Mental Health Act, what you need to do is contact the institution of where you were detained, and evidence of that will be given to you. They have to give you evidence. If they refuse to or whatever, remember there's the Freedom of Information Act and there's the DSAR, the Subject Access Request, that you can send to these organisations. If your dad can't find his birth certificate and he is not from the UK, then for example, I had to pay for support my dad to get his Jamaican birth certificate. You do it online to the Jamaican embassy. If you're not Jamaican, you come from a different nation, you Google the embassy number in the UK, you call them and you ask them, how do we obtain a birth certificate for my father or my uncle that still lives in the UK? There's online now, everything's virtual, you can get it and you will get it so long as you do the research yourself. What's not going to happen is me and Cheryl are not going to do all the work for you. We can only share the information that we're aware of. Please understand that despite of the false videos that are going around, all of the information what I share is either from the government website, from British legislation such as the British Nationality Act 1981, or direct from my personal experiences. I got my £20,000 in February or March last year. I've already been to Ghana, bought land, come back to the UK, bought my Jamaican passport, and invested in in the hyperverse, which you may learn about on some other spiritual injection events. But yeah, invest your money, buy land, spend it within the community. Of course, spend some on yourself, but please do not waste this money. This money is the first form of reparations that the British government have ever offered us, the Caribbean community. The Home Office are giving me a hard time. And please understand this, the man who made the video saying he's one of the 39 members of the Windrush cabinet or whatever, he told you in the beginning of his video, he works on behalf of the Home Office. Be very wary of the messages that any person that works within the Home Office is trying to give us. Now, if they were so passionate and so interested in the Windrush Compensation Scheme, why are they not putting on free events? They're being funded for events and still charging you to attend. Why can't they do what me and Cheryl done? Yeah?